pollution and improving the atmosphere.
Okay, so you would say that cars would not be driven. So it would result in less smoke emitted, right?
Yes, sir.
Or you could say less fossil fuels would be burned in
Yes, sir.
better vocabulary. Now, what kind of support would you produce, Mr. Amataha?
Sir, we can refer to a recent study in which the last car-free day, you can say we reduced the greenhouse gases emissions by 20%.
Very good. Recent study. According to the recent study, there was a 40% decrease in pollution levels when the last car-free day was celebrated. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now let's talk about the other methods. Can you talk about the other methods? What are the other methods?
Sir, what do you mean by other methods?
What could be the other methods? What would be another method to reduce pollution? One is
To
that
So
use,
we
people
have
should
to
use
use clean
public
fuel.
transport.
okay,
Transport.
Miss Asma Ishaq, you're saying that we should be
Yes, sir.
using public
Yes,
transport.
sir. Public transport, so
Now,
that the cars can be reduced.
now, whatever you are going to talk about, whatever you are going to state, has to be completely developed. For instance, just saying that you would be able to reduce the pollution level by public transport is not going to be enough. For instance,
Yes, sir.
a normal bus, how much capacity? What would be the capacity? How many seats would be there in a normal bus? A normal bus would be having like 25 to 30 seats. So if more people enter the bus, would if more people enter the bus, would the bus be emitting more smoke or would it be emitting the same amount of smoke?
It would emit the same amount of smoke.
It would emit the same amount
Same
of
amount of.
smoke. So just imagine if there is a bus and people are going into the bus, 20, 25 people are sitting in the bus and they're not using their own cars. So just imagine the amount of smoke or the amount of pollution we would be able to reduce when people would be using public transport. Did you get it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So it's about developing your idea. You will be talking about the bus. You would be talking about how you would be comparing bus with a car, and you would be giving an example. What kind of example would you like to give, Miss Asma?
Like, so for instance, the people should use train or some other transport system, buses, for to go to their offices and to colleges.
Yes.
So we can
Now,
give a research example that the people are using more public transport in developed countries. Therefore, the pollution is
very
lower
good.
there.
You would be talking about a city. You would be talking about a city in which
Yes, sir.
public transport, the usage of public transport is more popular. So when the
Yes, sir.
usage of public transport would be more popular, it would what would happen is that people would end up having atmosphere which would be cleaner than the atmosphere or the conditions which were prevailing in the places where public transport was not being used. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Let's move to the next part.
Yes.
Can you read the topic for me? Can you read the topic again for me?
Sir, both use topic.
Yeah, both for use topic.
Okay, some people believe that holding an international car-free day is an effective way of reducing air pollution, while others believe other methods would be more effective. Discuss both sides and give your opinion.
Or okay. So for the introduction, you would be paraphrasing. You would be giving your own opinion. For the body part, you would be required to give your first view, which he talked about, the car-free day, right? The other one is the second view, which is related to people using more public transport, and your opinion, whichever opinion you believe is going to be more practical. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Ms. Dania is going to read the next topic for me. It is a
Yes,
hybrid
sir.
question.
Okay.
It is often said that governments invest too much money attempting to protect wildlife, and there are much greater problems that money should be spent on. To what extent do you agree? What other problems do we have?
What kind of question is it?
So it's a problem statement.
No. Is it asking you for problem causes solution, or is it talking about agree or disagree, and then they're asking you what other problems are there? It's a combination of two types of questions, right?
Yes, sir.
That is called hybrid.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Okay.
can you read this topic once again related to wildlife? What are they requiring from you, Ms. Dania?
Yes, sir. It is often said that governments invest too much money attempting to protect wildlife, and there are other much greater problems that money should
Okay,
be
do you
spent
agree
on.
with it or disagree with it? What would you say? Do you
So
believe?
I agree with it.
Okay,
There
why?
should be because government is not spending much on other problems in the country. They are only focusing on just one aspect of the country, that is wildlife,
Okay.
whereas they should be able
Can you
to
please describe me? Can you please tell me what makes you believe that they're spending a lot of money on wildlife?
because it's said there,
No.
it's
What
mentioned
makes
there, it is often said.
what makes you believe, or how would you say that yes, they are spending a lot of money?
Okay, we can present this idea by quoting an example of the
Very good.
wildlife.
Yes, you could talk about like in Lahore only, approximately 2.5 billion rupees were spent in order to
Yes,
start a program which could enable people to stop certain species or certain breeds from being extinct. Are you getting the point?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it's all related to your made up facts, and you have to give those examples, or else you would not be able to support your point of view, right?
Okay.
What are the other problems?
So, are we supposed to mention the other part of the problem as well, where they are saying when there are other much greater problems that money should be spent on? Should we discuss
Yes,
this thing in the introduction part?
yes, I would be talking about the introduction, because this introduction is going to be different. Over here,
Okay.
when you are going to give your introduction, you have to talk about, yes, you will say that a lot of money is being spent on wildlife, and you would say that there are certain areas in which or where we are not, which are being deprived of the attention they deserve,
Yes.
and you would be talking about those other areas, right?
Okay.
So what other problems do we have, Ms. Dania?
So other problems might be about education problem, health sector, and
Water pollution,
infrastructure,
global warming.
Poverty.
Poverty.
Now, when it comes to other problems, a lot of people are very much eager to talk about the other problems, but are we supposed to mention all these problems in one paragraph, or are we supposed
No.
to just talk about one main idea in one paragraph?
one
One
main
main
idea.
idea.
We are
In
supposed
one
to talk about
paragraph.
one main idea in one paragraph, and that is how we
But
would
when we are about to discuss introduction part, then we should mention 2 or 3 points in one paragraph. No, after that we will be extending that ideas.
in the introduction, you always have to mention whatever you are going to whatever you would be
Yes, sir.
discussing in the uh, um, following paragraphs. The thing which is for one main idea for one paragraph is only for the body paragraph, not for the introduction.
Okay. Okay.
Fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's have a look at this. So you're saying that a lot of money is being spent on the wildlife. You're saying that a lot of money is being spent on wildlife.
Yes, sir.
If a lot of money is being spent on wildlife, you present, extend, and support the idea. How would you
Yes, sir.
present it?
Okay. Although their government is spending so much money on wildlife protection, but such as in Lahore, they are only they have restrained the production of a specific breed, and
Okay.
they are
Now,
just
Rania,
protecting wild.
sorry for
Yes, sir.
interrupting you. You would say, although Punjab government has the total budget of 20 billion rupees, it spends
Okay.
4 billion on wildlife, right?
Okay.
I've
This will
given
be in the extending part.
yes, you're saying that
Okay.
they are spending a lot of money and it is like 25% of what they should be. It's 25% of the total budget, and other countries are not
Okay.
spending more than 10% of what they are spending of their total budget. So
Okay.
you would say that governments are spending a lot of money these days on these things. Like wildlife is, you could say that wildlife is important. Although wildlife is important, there are other sectors which deserve equal amount of attention and
Attention.
budget.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
What are the other problems?
Okay. Other problems may include health sector, poverty,
Okay, let's talk about health sector.
education.
Present, extend support. You're saying that not enough money is being spent on the health sector. How? How can you say that enough money?
Like hospitals are not developed, there are no facilities available for the public, and people have to suffer a lot when they are caught in serious health issues. This could be
Okay,
extended
people
and
are
support.
suffering.
And
You
so in
have
support, I can say in support, I can say in PIC, Punjab Institute of Cardiology, there are only limited beds available for intensive care unit department, and people have to wait for like hours in the queue to get the bed for them, and the doctors are not able to give proper attention to the people because of the shortage of
Okay.
resources over there.
So you can even talk about the prevailing situation. All this
Okay.
situation, like when you look at this entire situation which actually happened, there's certain things which were unfolded. Like we believed that after 120 years, we had actually progressed in the field of science and medicine to the extent that we could just counter any kind of problem. Now it's not the problem of one country. If every single country on earth is having that problem, but still we are not having that vaccine,
Yes.
which means enough money was not spent by the governments. It's not about whether those people are capable of or not. Are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ahmed Taha, are you getting the point?
Yes, sir, I do.
Yes. So the one of the reporters asked um, a vaccinologist, I believe they are called, someone who's making the vaccine, like, why is it taking so long? She said, okay, you were paying me 2,000 euros per week, and you were paying like 200,000 euros to a football player. Go ask him why it's so late.
Hmm.
So now we realize that we were spending a lot of money on wildlife, on doing research, but health was one of the sectors in which we were not doing enough research. We were not doing enough to get the cure of different diseases which has led us to this kind of lockdown in the entire world.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, one question. We have discussed other problems, like if we mention 2 or 3 problems in introduction part, but how can we explain all problems in one 250 words paragraph? Like, are we
Now,
supposed to discuss everything or just one thing?
now, if they're talking about what are the other problems, it means you cannot discuss one. You have to at least discuss two. So when you would
Yes,
be
sir.
giving your introduction, you would be first talking about that yes, there are this is the problem. I agree with it. Then you
Yes,
would
sir.
be talk you when you would be talking about the other problems, you would be talking about health, and you would also be talking about another one because the question requires you to talk about another one also.
Okay. So we'll
Fine.
have to concise the part, right? Short करके थोड़ा थोड़ा करके सारा
No,
कुछ
no.
explain हो
Let
जाए.
me just explain it to you. Can you read the question for me again?
Okay. It is often said that governments invest too much money attempting to protect wildlife, and there are other much greater problems that money should be spent on. To what extent do you agree? What other problems do we have?
Okay, so in the introduction, you would be talking about, yes, I agree that a lot of money has been spent on wildlife, and there are other problems to which we are not actually giving a lot of attention, and those problems are related to the health sector, and the other one is related to the poverty eradication programs, right?
Okay.
Now, for the body paragraph, for one paragraph, you would be saying, yes, I agree with it. Then you would be writing 2 more body paragraphs in which you would be giving one for health, the other one for poverty, and in the end you will just conclude everything.
You want to take too much long, like we are supposed to write 250 words paragraph,
No,
right?
no, not 250 words paragraph. It's going to be a 250 word essay. If you look at
Yes, SAM.
if you look at the essays which I gave you, the sample essays, you see that they are sometimes 320, sometimes 350 words, sometimes 400 words.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it
Okay.
depends on what the question is requiring. For instance, if they ask you to talk about what are the advantages and disadvantages, you must have witnessed or you must have actually noticed that whenever they say what are the advantages and disadvantages, the topic itself is very easy. It's not very hard to
Yes, sir.
understand it. But they
Yes,
require
sir.
you to write more because when they are asking you explicitly to talk about advantages, you cannot simply say, okay, one advantage. You cannot say only one advantage. You have to. Now the question is, what I can understand from your question is that would we be having enough time to write so much? And the other
Yes,
thing
sir.
is, to what extent, for instance, if you're going to talk about so many things, what kind of development are we required to do for every paragraph?
Yes.
If you get this kind of a question, it means you have to develop it fully and you have to also do it in the time slot, which means you have to write quickly, but you have to write more,
Fine.
right?
Yes, sir.
Miss Bisma is going
Yes, sir.
to Miss Bisma is going to read the next topic, which is advantages and disadvantages. Please read. Is she there? She's not there. Mr. Athar Remani, read it, please.
Advantages and disadvantages. In some countries, girls and boys are educated separately rather than mixed together in the same school. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this?
What is the topics asking you to do?
He's asking about the advantages and disadvantages about the girls and boys uh, reading or getting education, uh, getting together education.
No, it's not together education. It is separately. If
Separate.
I'm reading it properly, they're saying in some countries, boys and girls are educated separately rather than mixed school. So they're saying that what are the advantages and disadvantages of making them study separately? What are the advantages?
Advantages is that
They don't get distracted with the presence of other gender, opposite gender. May
They're not going to be distracted. So, not distracted. What else?
don't include in negative activities.
Sorry? What could be another what could be another advantage? The Zainab, what is another advantage?
Sir, one might feel safe with the same gender and make more friendships with them.
Okay. Two advantages are enough. What about the disadvantages?
So lack of confidence, first of all.
It is difficult to interact with an opposite gender.
Gender
One
discrimination.
becomes, yes, introvert. One becomes introvert.
Sir, I may say that it may increase the cost if we separate classes. You can say the number of colleges should be more, the cost should be more on education sector.
Cost would be more on the education centers. Do you believe it could influence the education they're acquiring? Do you believe it would influence the education they are having?
Yes, sir. I guess there will be more competition and they will more focus on their studies.
So you're talking about two advantages of studying separately, and you're talking about two disadvantages of studying separately, right?
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the advantage. What was the first advantage?
Not distraction. Not distracted. They don't easily distracted by or by their opposite gender.
Not distracted. If you're talking about not distracted, and then we have another advantage, which is what was another advantage?
It is safer for the gender.
Can you tell me how would they not be distracted by it? Are you guys there?
So yes, so we can say that it is a natural practice for a gender to get attracted towards the other gender. This may cause the disease in their education.
Education could be compromised. How would you support it? How would you support this one?
We can give the reference of a recent study that most of the co-education schools are not producing good enough results for students.
Okay. So the academic performance of schools which are providing co-education was not up to the mark. Fine.
Yes.
If you're talking about safer, why or how would people feel safer when they would be not when they would be studying in separate schools? Miss Saira, can you tell me how would they feel safer?
Because, sir, there would be minimal chances of sexual abuse, and one feels safer within the same gender.
And you would quote an example from a study or a
Yes, sir.
recent article which you read. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Now you would be telling me about the disadvantages. What was the first disadvantage?
It was cost.
Lack of confidence.
How?
One is reluctant to speak before
Unable
the other opposite gender.
Sorry.
Anyone can be reluctant to speak in front of other gender. It may be due to the bullying.
So the disadvantage is that when they're not
They may
being
be
taught,
shy because
yes,
of
they would be
shyness.
shy, lack of confidence, they would be shy. And why is it disadvantage? It's a disadvantage because they are when they're going to work in their workplaces, or when they're going to work um, at their
They
offices,
would not feel
yes, when
safer.
they would be living in their everyday lives, they're not going to be taught, or they won't be living with the same gender. They would be interacting with the other gender also. So that is how they would be having problems in their personality, which would persist for the rest of their lives, right?
Yes, they
Yes,
would
sir.
become introvert.
Not only introvert, they would be daunted by the other gender. They would feel as if they're talking to someone who is not a human being. That is something happens. That is something which happens a lot with people who haven't interacted a lot with the other gender, right? What about the support? Are you guys there?
Yes, sir.
So we can relate any study
So you could say,
like recent survey
hmm,
or according to a survey
you could give
of
even your own example. You could say, even
yes, sir.
if you have studied in co-education, you could say that since I was not able to have the experience of studying with boys, I still
Mhm.
are daunted by the idea of interacting with boys in my with men in my university whenever I'm required. Or boys could say the same thing, because I was not able to interact enough with the other gender during my schooling or during my school. I do not find it very convenient for me to engage in any kind of conversation in my workplace, and that reduces my productivity. Do you guys get it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So your example does not always have to be related to a study, a survey. It could be something related to your own example. It could be related to what your friend has experienced. It could be related to anything you would be talking about. Let's talk about the disadvantage.
What was
Was cost.
What was the other disadvantage?
It was cost.
How are we talking about the cost?
It will be more expensive to build schools for the opposite genders. It means that where we have to build one school, but for separate schooling, we will have to build two schools. So cost will be eventually increased.
And you could give an example of your own country where, uh, although people believe that boys deserve education, they don't send their daughters for education. So what would happen is that in an average class, you would find like 15 boys and 5 girls, right?
Yes, sir.
So when the capacity or the infrastructure could have easily, the infrastructure could have easily provided for both the genders, we ended up making a new school which was not working on its complete capacity because someone decided that they both cannot be in the same one. Fine. And
Yes, sir.
there was one advantage you guys just forgot about, and that was related to our culture. Sometimes it is better to have separate schooling because some people deprive their children of, or specifically they deprive their girls of education by just saying that they're not comfortable making their daughters or sisters go to schools where boys are studying.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now let's have a look at the next one. Reasons and solution. I want Ms. Asma to read it for me.
In many developed countries, stress is one of the biggest problems. What are some of the factors that cause this stress and how can we reduce it?
So it is related to the stress which is caused in developed countries, which means countries which are having abundant wealth. You have to talk about the stress and you also have to talk about how to solve. Means they want you to give the solution for each one of them also. So what is the cause of stress?
Workload.
Sir, the cause of stress could be the competition which is going on in the world, and as well as the students who are studying in the high school, they are also getting depressed and being in a state of stress because of the
So
working
let's have a
and
look at the first
all
one.
the
You're
studies.
talking, yes, let's have a look at the first one. You're talking about the workload.
Yes, sir.
So what about the workload? How could you give the solution of the workload?
By creating a balance at both office and home,
So that is called a work-life balance.
work-life balance.
Okay. What could be another reason why there is a lot of stress?
Bad family life. Not prosperous family life.
And what could be done? What solution would you provide for it?
Spend more time with family to sort out the problems.
Do you believe that our relationships get better by spending more time? Or do you believe there are some people with whom we don't spend any time and still we have very strong relationships? Okay, what would be another reason?
Can
Just
it be the
generally.
financial reasons?
I wouldn't say it's going to be financial reasons, but I believe it would be more related to consumerism.
Yes.
Sir, unemployment.
Unemployment might not be an issue over there because people over there are already having a lot of jobs.
Okay.
I believe it's more towards consumerism.
Okay.
Like a society which believes in consumerism, like even if you don't require something, you'll go buy it. So they can always fulfill their basic needs, but they tend to spend more. They tend to spend more. They use their credit cards more. They use a lot of money in order to acquire extravagant things. They believe in extravagance. So that is one of the reasons they have a lot of stress. They have the money, but since they are that much into consumerism, they don't know how to manage that money.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Got it? So you will give one paragraph for this one, the second paragraph for this one, and the third paragraph for this one. You will talk about the problem, you will connect it with the solution. You will talk about the problem, you will connect it with the solution. You will talk about the problem and you will connect it with the solution. That is how you will complete your essay. Fine?
So total there will be 5 paragraphs, one
Yes,
per introduction,
there would be 5
three
paragraphs.
last will be conclusion.
Yes, in the introduction, you would be talking about, you will paraphrase it, and you would be
Yes.
talking about these 3 problems. Once you're done with these 3 problems, you will talk about each one of them, and then you would be concluding your essay. Fine?
Yes.
Now I'm
Yes.
going to write down an essay, and I'm going to make you guys do the brainstorming, and I would also make you guys do the organizational structure right now. And I would randomly ask each one of you to tell me what did you do with this essay. Most people believe that the best way to know about a country is to visit a museum of that country, right? Are you guys there?
Yes, sir.
So for this one, you have to write down, most people believe, Mr. Ansaf,
Yes, sir.
you got late today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Ansaf, I'm reading this topic out. I want you to do the brainstorming at your own. I'm going to give you guys 5 to 10,
Okay.
10 minutes actually to do it at your own. And then I would ask each one of you, what did you actually do with this topic? Most people believe that the best way to know about a country is to visit a museum of that country. It is a hybrid question. Do you agree or disagree? First of all, you're going to say whether you agree with it or not. And then you're going to say what other ways do we have to know about a country. Anyone not understanding the topic? Is everyone fine with the topic?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I want you guys to grab a paper, a pen, and do your brainstorming for this topic. Each one of you, and you, even if I know when the other person would be talking about it, you might know what the ideas are. Please tell me what you actually wrote down rather than just copying what the other person did. You have 10 minutes to think about it very carefully. I don't want you to talk about what you would write down in the introduction. I just want to know what you would write down in the body and why would you agree with it or disagree with it. And then you would tell me What are the other ways for us to know about a country? Fine, your 10 minutes start now. Are you guys done? Five minutes are left. The time for the brainstorming is over. Now you have to do your organization structure. Time is up. I will start with Ms. Zainab Ali. Would you
Yes,
agree
sir.
with it or disagree with it?
Well, according to me, if my opinion is asked, there are many other ways of getting to know our country more.
First of all, you will tell me whether you would agree with it or disagree with it.
I would disagree with it
Why would you disagree with it?
because a museum may be a learning platform for many of us. But if my opinion is asked, there are many other ways of getting to know our
No, no,
country
no,
more.
no. Ms. Zainab Ali, sorry for
Yes, sir.
interrupting you. Go back to the topic. You're saying that museum is not going to be a good way to know
Yes,
about
sir.
a country, right?
Yes, sir. But we need to we need to tell the topic again, right?
No, no, I don't want you to talk about the introduction. I just want you to tell me
Okay.
if you are going to disagree with it. Can you tell me why are you disagreeing? Why museum is
Okay,
not a
sir.
good thing?
Even though museum is a main educational spot, but there are many other places that a
Okay,
tourist can go and see.
yes, I'm going to say it now. You're saying that even though museum provides information, most of that information is outdated. That
Yes, sir.
I don't think any country would talk about its failures. It would be talking about its adversities, but it would only be talking about the adversities they were able to overcome. No country would be talking about its own failures in the museum.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
So most of the time, if you go to a museum, everything is portrayed in a manner as if there is no fault in that country. The greatness of that country would be something which would be unfolded in a museum. So you cannot actually know a lot about the museum. Yes, you can know about the good things about the country, but you won't be able to know about the bad things about the country. So it means that it would not be the best way to know about a country. Fine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, for instance, if we go to an Indian museum, or would they be saying anything about Pakistan?
No.
No, sir, they will be talking about their own country.
Yes. If you ask a Pakistani, they say that we have won 2 out of 3 wars which were fought with India. If you talk about India, they say we have won 3 out of 3 wars of all the wars which were fought. So museum actually does not give you the right information as far as that country is concerned. They just give their viewpoint, their own viewpoint, rather than a viewpoint which would be unbiased or a viewpoint which would be impartial.
Yes, sir.
Did you get it now?
Yes, sir.
Now you tell me about the other ways.
Well, there are many other ways that a person can seek education as well as entertainment through visiting famous places of that specific country. Search internet as much as you can. Watch
Okay,
more documentary.
stop. Yes, please stop. You're talking about visiting places.
Now I should talk about the places as well.
Yes. Now, when you're saying that you would be visiting places, when you would visit places, you would not only be visiting the places, you would be meeting new people over there. You would be knowing how those people react, how those people talk. You would be talking. You would be knowing how those people would be behaving in the normal circumstances.
Yes, sir.
The other thing is internet. You're talking about the other way, which is internet. Internet is a way in which you would be able to know about the history, and you would be knowing not only about the history of that country, or you would not only be knowing about the latest happenings of that country from the viewpoint of that country, but also from the viewpoints of other people, those authors who have read a lot about that country, those people who have immense knowledge about that country. They would be imparting knowledge to you about that country.
And documentaries could also be very useful.
Sorry, could you repeat?
Documentaries
Yes,
could
you
also be
talked
very
about the documentaries also. Now, do you
Yes, sir.
see how how you would be writing down these points? Now, next person
Yes, sir.
stands up.
Yes, sir.
What would you do? Would you agree with it or disagree?
I would agree.
Okay, why?
The reason is because so you can get to know culture, tradition, festival, heritage, and lifestyle through museum. You can get an idea
Very good. So you would
because
be
museums would depict all of these.
very good. You're saying that we would be able to know about the culture. Like how would you know about the culture?
Uh,
Or how would you know about the traditions? If you're talking about culture,
for-
if you enter a museum, what
Yes.
do you find in a museum which would enable you to know about the culture of that country?
For instance, the dresses
Okay. What else?
and old ornaments or jewelry,
What else?
and
One more thing. When you enter a museum, you look at physical things. You look at
yes, sir.
tangible things, things which can be
Right.
touched, things which can be seen. When you read something, that is just an opinion. But when you look at something, it's basically which really happened. For
Yes,
instance,
sir.
if you would see a painting of a person, if you would see the weapon, if you would see some sort of achievement in sense of winning a trophy or anything, those things really happened. So
Yes, sir.
you can know about a country by looking at tangible stuff, by looking at things which really happened in the museum, because in the museum, they're not going to just give you opinion, they would be showing you things which actually were there in the
the
past.
real events that happened in the past.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And what other ways do we have to know about a country?
Other ways could be through books.
Okay. Can you tell me how would you know about a country by a book?
Could be a historical journal.
It could be a historical journal. It could be telling you everything about when that, in what year did
How?
the country come into existence.
Yes.
Okay, it would be talking about what is their language. It would be giving you information about what they believe in, what kind of friends do they have, what uh,
and and
what are their
and the tra-
cultural, what are their
and the tra-
ethnic.
yes, and the transformation period from the beginning till now, how
Yes,
the country evolved.
very good. So I think you got it. Now let's move to the next person, Mr. Ahmed Taha. You're going to tell me, would you agree with it or disagree with it?
So I would agree with this.
You would agree with it.
Yes, sir.
Why?
So I have written 2 points, which one is already described by Ansip, that was cultural heritage of that country, describes about the infrastructure, rituals and customs, paintings, etc.
Hmm.
And I can support this by a recent survey shown that 20% of the present culture is the replica of the ancient cultural heritage.
Hmm.
Second, I have written that scientific inventions of that country explains about their interest in studies and uh, arts, and in a study that students are inspired from the inventions of their forefathers and they continue to do so.
Okay, very good. And what are the other ways?
So other ways are exports and imports. We can check that what they are producing and what they are importing. So survey revealed that the import and export of the country tells about their strength and weakness, that what are their core strengths, what they can export to other countries, and what are their weakness that they don't have that products and they have to import it from other countries.
So when you're talking about imports and exports, are you talking about reading the financial statements or are you just talking about what are they producing and what kind of things are they requiring?
Sir, what they are producing and what they are requiring.
So
So
from
we can
where would
check
you
that
get that?
whether this is an agricultural country or an industrial country.
Okay, so from where would you be getting that information? Would you be getting that information from internet?
Internet, sir.
Okay, very good. What would be another way?
So we can check the development and transformation from ages to the present. We can check the war history of the country,
Hmm.
and we can know about the courage and bravery of the people, their conquers, what they have conquered in their past.
Okay,
These two are the reasons what I have written other ways.
very good. Next person is Asma.
Yes, sir.
Would you agree
So
with
I
it?
have written this that yes, sir, I will agree with this because museums aim to exhibit collection of interesting objects that helps us to study about the history, culture, and many other aspects of life as well. So
Hmm.
this is my point of view about the this topic. And the other ways through which we can talk about learn about the country is through internet, as well as we can go there and meet local people, through which we will be able to learn more about the traditions and culture, what is like the people mostly do in that area or country. So we can also read articles online which are available about every country, or we can study what is the tourism way there, and we can also watch documentaries as well, which are very common nowadays, so we can easily uh, get access to these
Very
things.
good. Mr. Athar Rahmani.
Yes, sir. First of all, sir, I agree that mostly this is the best way to know about a country is to visit museum. Why? Because history plays an important part in the you can say in the life for a country, not just in the meaning of revolution or but as well as for the country to memorize or idealize their heroes
Hmm.
because it mainly whatever whenever there is a down for a country they what they did they mainly remember their history and tell their country to remember the history who we are from where we belong and which is what makes them to motivate also encourage and motivate them and the other way is to know about the country is economy or and living style. By living style you can know about the country, what are their cultures, what are their religions, how they live, how they like to live, and what are the other you can say mostly about cultures.
Okay, good. Next person, Mr. Vaishya. Ms. Bisma. Okay.
Sir, I'm not agree with this statement. Maybe museum are one of the best learning ways about the country, but it is not the best.
You could
Actually,
say
once upon a time,
yes.
once upon a time, for getting more information, I went to museum. When I went there, I was astonished. Not astonished actually, but confused. After that, I wrote a book about history. Moreover, I think technology has been improved. There are many information on internet for
So I'm
people
sorry for interrupting you, Ms. Bisma. Why do you think museum is not a good place?
because I think it's very time consuming activity to know about the country.
Okay, and yes, time consuming and what else?
And there are many other ways to know about the country, like internet. People who are interested, people can get information in a fast and efficient way on internet.
Okay. And you're saying internet is much more reliable. What other way?
Internet, different articles. There are many different articles on history also.
Okay, so you're talking about internet. What other way do you have?
So I think internet is the most crucial way.
Yes, it is the most crucial, but over here they're requiring you to talk about other ways, which means you have to talk about internet, but you also have to talk about another one.
So we have to talk about three or four.
No, two are enough.
Okay. Um,
Okay, you can think about it later. Next person,
okay.
Ms. Dania.
Yes, sir. I agree with this statement that museums are one of the best ways to know about the history of a country because museums contain all the information about standards and past events of the country that help to conquer this country, and it also represent the culture and traditions of the country, and it's the most convenient way to learn about the history of a country. Along with that, I would say there are many other ways to learn about the country in which we can ask our elders to give us information that they have
Very
personally,
good.
they have
I'm sorry for interrupting you. You gave a new point, which is we can ask our about the country from our
asked
elders.
our
What would be
elders.
another way?
Yeah. We can research on the internet, and we can also read history books that are available that have been authentic since ages, and we should know about the history that is related to our country. So it can be the other ways, like history books, reading history books, and ask your elders and research on it.
Very good. You're talking about history books and you're talking about elders. Very good. Next person, who is left? Who has not given his or her viewpoint?
Sir, me.
Okay, please say it.
Sir, I will agree with this
Mhm.
because museum exhibit a collection of interesting objects, and this can teach something visitor did not know previously.
Mhm.
And I can relate it to my own experience. Like when I went to Turkey, I visited their museum, and I was able to know about their history and culture, as there were a number of things like the weapons they used during the wars,
Mhm.
and other methods could be like reading a book about the country's history. And as I can relate it to my own experience, I have read about the US history, and I am like able to know each and everything about the country and about their culture, about their history and their people, where they came from, and how they just inhabited that country.
Mhm.
And the other method could be internet, and another method will be meeting local people.
Okay, in what ways can you know about a country through internet?
Sorry, sir.
In what ways can you know about a country through internet?
Sir, internet can give us a wide range of information about from like their map to their history, their heroes, their culture, about the local inhabitants, and everything about their local cuisines, about anything we want to know about the country, we can just search that and we can find that easily on internet.
Okay, now I would be in the next 2 3 minutes. I would be giving you another topic, which you would do once again, and you would be doing your brainstorming and your organization structure. But before I move to that, um, apart from three people, no one submitted the listening and the reading scores for the exam. Did you guys complete it?
I have submitted four of them, the first four,
Yes,
IELTS 7.
yes, I'm talking about you, Mr. Ahmed Taha. You did it, Ms. Zainab Ali, you did it, and I'm not sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I did it
Mr.
IELTS
Akhtar
7,
Ali, you
but
did it.
now I'm working on IELTS 8
Yes. So apart,
for listening only.
yes, three people did it and others did not do it. I want you guys to do it. The other thing I want to talk about is vocabulary. If you're going to work on your vocabulary and if you find a word you don't know, if you're going to build your vocabulary, one thing is you just work on your similar words. If you're going to build your vocabulary, you are bound to not know some of the words or most of the words you would be trying to learn. The best way to learn new words is to, if you are doing a quiz, do one quiz once, write down the words you did not know, copy that word, put it on Google, search it on image, and in that way you will start learning words. Sometimes you will learn 10 words, sometimes you will learn 15 words. You will do the same quiz again. Whatever quizzes I have submitted. After this class, I'm going to do one quiz on Facebook Live to show you in what way are you basically required to do those quizzes. You're not supposed to do it once and say, okay, I did not understand out of 10, I did not know 5 of them or 6 out of them and get disappointed. You have to do every quiz again and again because that is how you will put them into your long term memory. You won't be learning anything if you just do it once.
Okay, sir.
आपको एक word, if you look at a word, it is a very simple word. Now you will write down the meaning, you will select the meaning of that word. Sometimes you will get difficult words. But when you will search that word on internet, you will realize that it was not a very difficult word. It was just a word which you knew in Urdu, but you did never realize what would be the meaning of that word in English. And when you will start learning that word, you will search on it, you will do it again. It will start going into your long-term memory, and you will see that over the time, your vocabulary will start improving. So whenever you get a new word, you should take it as an opportunity to learn rather than be daunted by it. Okay, it's so difficult. If you search that word, believe me, agar aap us word ko, if you put that word on Google and click on image, they will show you an image, 2 3 images of the meaning of that word. That word would stay in your mind because images stay in the mind. So I want you all to do the listening and the reading exams, and I want you to do all those quizzes again at least 3 4 times with the way I just told you and see how much you will start learning. And if you just do it once, it would not be of any use. Let's have a look at another topic. It is believed that employees should not be given paid holidays. Discuss both views. Anyone having a problem with the topic? Please write down the topic. Are you guys there?
Yes, sir.
It is believed that employees should not be given paid holidays. This is again a topic on which you would be required to do brainstorming. You would then be required to do organization structure. Last time I gave you 10 minutes. This time I'm going to give you 8 minutes. Please start. Okay, you guys have 3 more minutes. Okay, guys, let's start. Let's start with Mr. Ansab. It is
Yes, sir.
believed that employees should not be given paid holidays. Discuss both views.
So in case of should be given holidays, I've written it would be good for mental relaxation. The paid holidays. Should I repeat again?
Yes, Mr. Ansab, I want you to develop it. You're saying that it would lead to mental relaxation. How?
Lesser workload.
No, no. Let's do it with the very first thing. For instance, you could say when the company requires work, they normally don't pay unless it has a very strong system of providing people for moonlighting. Do you know about moonlighting?
No, sir.
Write this word down. Moonlighting is working overtime. Moonlighting is working overtime.
Let's say if they're working all year round, don't you
Yes.
think it will affect their efficiency?
So you're saying that they're working for the entire year
Yes.
and they are they deserve to be paid for their time for their holidays, because if they're not going to be paid for their holidays, how would they be able to relax completely?
Yes.
Like they could engage in different activities, they could engage in different other things. For instance, they could have some sort of membership in a sauna, they could have some sort of a membership in a swimming pool or whatever. So they would be able to enjoy, they would be able to relax, because even those things which would enable them to relax require money. What would be the other view when people say do not give them money?
They would feel discouraged.
Sorry?
They would feel discouraged.
No, no. I want you to tell why employees should not be given money.
Okay, should not be, because longer holidays would make them less efficient.
Okay, so not only about the longer holidays, don't you think it would be extra burden on the companies?
Yes, in a way it could be. When they will get back to work after holidays, they will have to work even more harder to fill the gap.
Very good. So if they are going to, if the companies are going to give them paid holidays, they're in order to make up for the work which was lost,
Ending.
for the pending work, they'll make them work more. So in a way,
Yes.
they would not be having those paid holidays. They would be they would be compensating for that time by working more once they are done with their work, right?
Yes. Yes.
And another reason a person would have said is that it would be extra burden on the company. Mr. Ahmed Taha, it is believed that employees should not be given paid holidays. Discuss both views.
Yes, sir. I have written two reasons. That first reason for that they should be given, that the benefit is that they should be given. They will have the break from their banal routine. So for that reason, their productivity will be enhanced. According to HR survey of my company, employees who availed these paid leaves performed better than that who didn't avail these leaves.
Okay.
And second reason I have written that work-life balance, that the employees can spend more time with their family, and the recent study showed that it reduces the stress levels and hence better lead to better health of the employees.
And the other view?
Other view is that uh, they could lead to the incompletion of projects within the due timelines. They can leave the work in between. They can lose the habit of work of hard working. Studies shown that they lose their interest in work and do not focus much on their tasks. And second one is that company have to bear cost of their holidays.
Okay, so the company, it would be extra burden on the company. Good. Miss Asma,
Yes.
your turn.
Yes, sir. So I have discussed that if the paid holidays should not be given to the employees because it will double up the amount of the money for the company who have hired them. Moreover, they may be unable to concentrate on their work after the paid holidays that they may be enjoyed. And
Sorry for interrupting you, Miss Asma. Why do you think they would
yes,
not
sir.
be able to concentrate well once?
Because they will be less productive over time and they will lose the momentum of the things that happen on the work life. So
Okay.
that's why it could be the reason that they will lose their interest in the job. And my other view is that the paid holidays should be given. It is that so that the employees could enjoy leisure time to refresh their mind, and they could increase it will also in the paid holidays will also increase the commitment of the employees to the organization,
Okay.
and they
Sorry
will
for
work more.
interrupting you,
Yes, sir.
but I want you guys to go deep into it.
Okay,
For
sir.
instance, if you are having holidays, for instance, a company normally gives holidays of 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks. This is something I have experienced myself. Like in the summer holidays, this year I don't think it would be happening because of coronavirus. But in the summer holidays, I used to have, I would say, at least 30 to 40% of the students used to be teachers. They were being paid, and they were actually paying this institute so that they could improve their language skills. They were enrolled in different courses, and they said that they were enrolled in these courses because they believed that they would be able to perform their own jobs better after the period. Did you guys get it?
Yes, sir.
So if you're going to
Yes.
pay someone, for instance, if you're going to pay someone 10,000 rupees and that person is having a paid holiday, that person might first of all relax himself or herself by going to different parks or different recreational activities, might get engaged in different recreational activities. But that person might even go towards developing his or her own skills by that money which was given, and that those skills might help the company in a way. Did you
Right,
get
sir.
it?
Yes, sir.
So this is the point which I wanted to mention. Next person, please. Who's the next person? Miss Asma, are you done?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
So,
actually you didn't ask anyone after me.
okay, Miss Saira.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please start.
Sir, I think it would be more productive because the employer will be motivated and stress free. And moreover, I can relate it like, for example, Malaysia has the highest number of public holidays in the world. And we can see that Malaysian economy is also rising because their employers are more dedicated and working hard. And the other view is that it will cost to employers, the business, and to the nation,
Okay,
as it will
sorry for interrupting
economic.
you, Miss Saira.
Okay,
There
sir.
are some people who are earning a lot in this lockdown. people related to the food and beverage industries, and even people related to the medical field. But there are some people who are not earning a lot. Now,
Yes.
just think of this situation, which is right now happening. We are having holidays, but we are not able to enjoy them because we are not having money. So what is happening is that if you give someone holidays and you don't pay them in order to enjoy them, the purpose of the holidays would just be gone. They would just be, they would enjoy it for 2 3 days, but after 2 3 days they won't be able to enjoy them the way they could have enjoyed them if they were given money.
So they should save money so that they can enjoy their holidays.
So you're saying no, you are saying that they should not be paying the money.
No, sir, I am just giving my view.
Okay, so you're saying that people should not be given paid holidays because they should be saving money in order to enjoy the time which they would be having for their holidays, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. And what is the other point of view?
The other point of view is that if they were given paid holidays, that would be more productive because it will give them a stress-free and motivated life, and they can enjoy their holidays with their family by just going out and spending their holidays somewhere more peaceful and in solace. So I think that and moreover they can create that would create a work life balance, and they can also spend money on getting some training that would enhance their abilities and capabilities related to their job, uh, related to their job. And so that's my other point of view.
Okay, so the first point of view was that it is not the responsibility of the company to pay them the money
Yes,
because company was
that would
already
lead
paying
to
them,
lot.
and now they if they are having some time off, they should use up their own savings in order to have a good time in that time period, right?
Yes, sir.
And the other point of view is that the company should be paying them because if they don't pay them, they won't be able to engage in different activities and they won't be able to enjoy them the way they would have enjoyed with the presence of money. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Good. Next person, Mr. Athar Imani.
Yes, sir. So organization which deal with the daily activities, for instance, transportation or supply chain, believe that they should not pay employees on holidays because they are they also think that on the holidays their transportation or the consumption in sale decreased on. So that's why they feel that they also face the loss face the loss for the organization as well as they have to pay the holidays to the employees. On the other hand,
Okay,
employees
stop, Mr. Athar Imani. I'm going to talk about it. For instance, if you look at teachers, they don't work for 3 months, at least two months. If they're
yes,
working in a college or in a university or in a school, they don't work at all. Now, what they're doing is that they're paying them for not working and they're charging parents even if their children are not attending those schools. This is a very, I would say, unfair kind of a system, which I don't believe anyone has ever talked about it. They're not even going there. They're not even studying over there, but school charges you even for the summer holidays. So if you are going to pay your employees for the holidays, you are basically doing some sort of injustice with your customers. Don't you think?
yes, sir.
See, it is unfair to charge someone when they are not even utilizing that facility. So it's a very common saying that take care of your customers because if you don't take care of your own customers, your competitors will take care of them. So what really happens in companies is that they don't pay them. They pay their employees for not doing the work and they make their customers for not for for a service they did not even utilize. So they make them pay extra for something they did not even use. Are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Miss Sarah, did you get the point?
Yes, sir.
So what happens with the teachers is that they get paid for working, and those parents get to pay even if their children are not studying. So when you pay your employees or when you give them paid holidays, you're doing some sort of injustice. Okay, Mr. Atharemani, please continue.
Yes, sir. Okay. On the other side, employee believes that they should get paid for holidays. Why? Because they also they consider that they they didn't want they consider that there is no, I mean, you can say that so let me, okay, they, because the employee they think, they consider that they also have a right to enjoy that holiday like the other employees of, or like the other employees of the organization, so they can spend some time with their family and with their family also, and be happy, sit happy with them.
Very good. Next person, Mr. Avesha.
Yes, sir. I have the same idea. The teachers in Pakistan, in private schools, they did not get paid. So that's why,
Okay.
as compared to the government teachers, they get paid from their organization.
Hmm.
So they enjoy their life as compared to the private school teachers.
No, but I think private school teachers are also paid.
No, sir.
No?
In my area, I think so. They did not get paid in holidays. They suffered a lot. They forced them to go some part-time jobs and earn their money.
Hmm.
I think they do pay half of the amount.
In some organization, they might paid, but in most of the private school teachers, they did not get paid. I have a friend, and they told me that they get not paid from the school organization. So
Okay, very good. Let's move to Miss Bisma now.
Um, uh, if they will not give an employees paid holidays, then it would be lower productivity and lack of loyalty to the management. Secondly, the employees will give more output, means after paid holidays, according to my perspective. And the second view is they should give paid holidays to those who are highly skilled and talented.
Okay, so you're saying that only those who are adept
Yes,
at only those who are adept at their fields should be rewarded with the paid holidays. Not everyone should be paid for the holiday.
yes.
Okay, good. Next person, Ms. Dania.
Sir, in my opinion, employees, when companies do not give paid holidays to their employees, it results in unsatisfied and unloyal employees. And in second opinion, when companies give paid holidays to their employees, it may cost to their employers, but it will also result in some hidden benefits such as increased productivity, loyalty with the management, satisfaction, and employees can enjoy their lives by spending more time with their families.
Okay, but both of these are related to the same view.
Yeah, okay. If companies should not give paid holidays to their employees, it may result in demotivation to the employees
No, no,
and
you are talking about the same view even now. The first view you said that if they're not going to give them paid holidays, it would result in lower satisfaction level, and those those employees might not be that loyal towards the company. The other point of view you
Yes.
said was that although the company might believe that they have spent more, they would be having some hidden benefits. For instance, they would be able to have better productivity
Yes, and
after
increase
the move.
loyalty.
So they both are the same view. You're supporting the same
Okay.
view. You have to
I
get
have a question. When this kind of statement comes, how would we start such essays? Like, do we have to agree or disagree with the statement, or we just start giving our opinions about the statement?
see whenever you give discuss both views, and they would also if they're also talking about your opinion, you have to let's have a look at this topic. Let's write an introduction for this one. What do you have? Can you read the topic
Mhm.
for me?
It is believed that employees should not be given paid holidays. Discuss both
Okay.
views.
Okay, Ms. Dania, do you see it?
Yes, sir.
It is asserted by many that employers have no right to have paid holidays as it would be an extra burden on the company. However, some people believe that paid holidays could augment the earnings of the company as the employees would be more productive and satisfied after utilizing them. Now, once you have
Okay.
talked about, I have paraphrased it, I have talked about the points I would be mentioning, and also the opinion. In my opinion, employees should be given paid holidays. So,
Okay.
right now, the last line, you could have said that In this essay, I would be discussing both views and I would be giving my opinion in the conclusion. It is entirely up to you. But do you understand how you write the introduction?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
First, you have paraphrased the
Yes, sir.
statement, then you have given your own opinion.
Yes, you have to give the valid opinion. Like you talked about, it would be some
Okay.
people believe that it's an extra burden. However, some people believe that they should be given since they would be able to augment the earnings or they would be able to increase their earnings by more productive employees.
Okay. And in the last, you have said that, in my opinion, employees should be given paid holidays. Okay. You're agreeing with the statement. Okay. Then in the body part, we will be explaining the points why employees should be given paid holidays and why they should not be given paid holidays, right?
Yes.
And in conclusion, we will conclude by saying that although employees should be given paid holidays, but it will increase the cost to the employer and it will become a burden for the company.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Any problem?
No, sir.
Who's left? Can I rub it down? Who else is left?
Me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, if the employees are given money, the employees work more productively and are more responsible in their work. Also, due to all the hustle and bustle in their everyday life, they need a break from their hectic routine. And after coming back to their work, they work with more full zeal and zest. So that's why giving money makes them more professional, and they also work more effectively and efficiently in their work. Whereas um, if they are in the company, if the company does not give money to the employers, they think that the employers will, that they might think that employers may become more lazy and lethargic, because they know that if they are sitting at home doing nothing, they still will be paid, so they become more lazy. And even though holiday is alluring for everyone, so they lose track, they lose attention and concentration as well. So a long holiday will not bring a positive outcome, but will have an effect, will have an effect on work adversely. So that's why there are many companies that due to which did not pay their employers.
Okay, good. I would now be giving you guys the speaking topic. Anyone left?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
She was saying giving them money makes them professional. How?
Professional as far as the skills are required.
She was saying giving them money makes them professional.
Okay.
How?
This is something I just talked about. For instance, if you are working in a company and they provide you 2 months of paid holidays. Now, in those 2 months, if you decide to take some classes, if you take some computer classes, if you take some classes related to Microsoft Word or Excel, so if you take those classes with that money and you go back to your workplace, if you go back to your work routine, you would actually be a much more professional in a way that you would be much more skilled person than the person you were before.
Okay.
I think that is what she means by being professional.
Okay.
Someone
Okay, sir.
having more skills.
Okay.
Okay, the last time. The last time you went to a park, When did you go? Where did you go? With whom did you go? And how did it feel? Please prepare on it. You have a minute to prepare on it, and then you'll be speaking on it for a minute. Start, please. Shall we start? Yes, Mr. Ansab, you'll be the first one.
Yes, sir. Okay. The last time I went to the park, it was a year ago, and it was in summers. Probably the month was July.
After summer is pandemic holidays.
Who's speaking? Ms. Bisma. Let him speak. Okay, continue, please.
Okay. The last time I went to park was a year ago in summers. Probably it was the month of July, and it was a city called Amstel, and this city is 50 kilometers away from Amsterdam. And with whom I went with my cousins and uncle, with all of them to the park, and how did it, and it was quite wonderful experience because it was a theme park. It had many rides, and we spent there a whole day attending different rides and roller coaster rides. And it was a wonderful experience for me because it was the first time I went to a theme park.
Okay.
Shall I continue? Shall I add more?
Yeah, you have to speak.
Or is it's too specific?
It's fine. There's no wrong in being specific, but it has to be more developed.
Okay.
Okay. You have my number. You can record it and send it to me on my WhatsApp private message.
All right, sir.
Okay. Mr. Atharam, and yes, Mr. Ansab and Ms.
Yes, sir.
Dania. Mr. Ansab and Ms. Dania, I sent you guys more writing tasks for letters. You haven't submitted them yet.
I did, sir, for letters.
2.
Just, yes, sir, 2 letters.
Yeah, submit 10 at least by the end of
Okay,
it.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Ms. Dania, you'll be the next one
Yes.
speaking.
Okay, sir. You're asking me to speak? Okay,
Yes,
I thought you're saying to submit letters for the next weekend. Sorry.
Yes, please start.
Okay. Last week, I was feeling really bored by being stuck in the home as there was nothing to do. So I decided to visit the park that is situated 1 mile away from my home. I asked my mom to come with me so we can have a long walk and talk about things to cheer our moods. She agreed and we went out and reached to the park after 10 minutes walk. I would say it was such a relaxing experience for me as the weather was really pleasant and there were fresh flowers around us. We had a lot of gossips that we couldn't discuss at home, and we enjoyed the time by walking, and we got really fresh after this wonderful walk, and we came home with a very fresh and relaxing mood. That's it. So is it okay, or we have to elaborate more? Hello.
No, it's fine. It's very good. It's at 7.5.
Okay.
Okay, next person. Mr. Athar.
It's been a quite long time when I visited the park. As far as I remember, it was the year of 2019. Sorry, I didn't remember the actual date. I went to the Moreton Park along with my friends. Well, it was a bunk from the school because there was 6 tests of complete book, and I didn't uh, and I didn't intended to attempt that test. We enjoyed I enjoyed a lot at the park because it was my first experience, as well as there was a lot of amusement things like you can say art and food points, and also a boat and lot of things. You want to complete, sir?
Speak more.
Okay. Uh, but when the time get over, I came uh, I came back to home, and the next day I found out that the management of school found out that we 5 or 6 friends were at the bunk, and it was a bad day after all. Is it enough, sir?
Yes, it is enough, but I'm not able to hear you properly. I think it is because of the
Uh,
internet.
yes, sir. There was an issue with the internet,
Yes,
and
I want you to record it and send it to me. Mr. Ahmed
okay,
Taha, your turn.
Yes, sir. I went to Rana Resort Park before the lockdown. I was out with my friends. Since I'm a biker, I was with my friends, who are enthusiastic about bikes. Actually, we have a habit of going outside to a breakfast ride, and every Sunday we gather at a place and at our modern bikes and go towards some park or any eatery. So last time I went to Rana Resort, it gave me a mesmerizing feeling because the weather was very pleasant, and while riding my motorcycle, I felt very good. After reaching that park, I saw leaves falling because it was the autumn season. I wandered here and there in the park, took rides. We did barbecue over there and listened to songs on a speaker. We had a lot of gossips uh, and fun. After all that, we wiped all of our waste which we had produced and put into a basket, and we came back to home in the afternoon.
Okay, 7. Next person. Are you guys not? Is it that I'm not finding today's answers very satisfying, or are you guys not giving very long answers?
we are not giving very long answers.
Okay, I want all of you to tell me these answers. But still, again, next person, Ms. Zainab Ali.
Last summer, I visited my family in Manchester. Uh, so we all cousins decided to go to an amusement park, which named Blackpool Beach. So it is a very really huge and a famous park there, and people there are many other activities and other activities for people to do there. For example, swimming, shooting, and enjoying many rides as well. So as we entered the park, I was really amazed by just the sight of the huge and enormous rides. I was really thrilled, and it felt like I have replenished my childhood memories once again with my cousins, and it was really amazing. We also tried many rides that were actually really mind blowing, and it was a memorable and thrilling experience because I was with my friends, mainly cousins, and we had a lot of rides as well as we did many other activities as well, such as shooting experience was really amazing for me, and I was also able to join many one of my favorite ride for one of my favorite ride for example roller coaster, and it was my first experience that was really amazing, and it has been a very memorable experience. The site of the park was itself very huge, and it was a large park with many different areas, and it is suitable for almost all different age groups and interests, starting from age 5 to
Okay, very good.
age
So
25.
we're standing at 7 to 7.5. Who else is left?
Me.
Okay, start please.
uh, Lastly, I went to a model town park because my 5-year-old cousins wanted to go out. When I went there, I was amazed that after coronavirus pandemic holidays, the air pollution has been reduced and all things look really fresh. Moreover, the ambience was very splendid. I felt really awesome because I went there after ages. There were also many kids who are enjoying the weather as well. Then we had dinner as well. I enjoyed a lot because for many weeks I couldn't go outside. Done.
Okay, it was very good. It was very concise, but it was at 6.5 this time. 6.5. It is moving towards the better score. That would be the end of the class now. I want you guys to do those quizzes. I want you to do those listening exams. I want you to tell me what your scores are. I would be assigning I would be assigning all these topics which we did today as homework. You have to submit
Okay,
all of
teacher.
them on billionesses. And I would also be sharing one more paragraph. I would be sharing some homework where all of you would be required to write down short notes on different countries, and they would be of 25 to 30 words only. So have a
Okay.
look at this. Now I believe most of you should not be having any problem with the essay. You know what
Yes.
are the different types of essays, you know how to do the brainstorming, you know how to do organization structure. Tomorrow we would be working on speaking part 1 and also speaking part 3. I have submitted a lot of questions for speaking part 1 along with the answers. I hope you guys have read them, so please read
Yes,
them.
sir.
Tomorrow I would be doing speaking part 1 and speaking part 3, and I would also be having a follow up on your reading and your listening exam. So tomorrow we would also be doing a reading exam together. Okay.
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 सर
Yes, sir.
सर
Alright.
रीडिंग एग्जाम के बारे में बता दें, वो आपने क्या होमवर्क दिया था उसका, उनके
जी मैंने आपको जो
लिसनिंग का।
जी मैंने एक तो लिसनिंग का दिया ना, और मैंने आपको उसी बुक की जो रीडिंग के जर्नल ट्रेनिंग के एग्जाम्स हैं वो
जी
उसका भी आपने अपना स्कोर बताना है।
ओके ओके।
ठीक है, कल हम
Sir, you didn't share the graph and paragraph examples?
जो हाँ मैंने उसके पेजेस नहीं दिए क्योंकि
Yes, sir.
हाँ लिसनिंग और रीडिंग का आप पहले कर लें। Tomorrow I would
Okay.
be telling you the page numbers of that book which I have already. I'll actually do it today, so I'll do it by
Okay.
tomorrow, and you will do it over the weekend. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Any
Thank you,
problem?
sir.
Thank you.
No,
Good
No.
sir.
Hafiz, sir.
afternoon.